The ambushers have closed in. The lion began to realize the danger too late. What would happen if a giant python trapped the king of the grasslands in its deadly constriction? Comment 1 and follow along to see the outcome. The afternoon heat gradually descended upon the savanna near a dry stream bed in the arid African savanna. The dry, yellow grass rustled continuously in the hot wind blowing across the vast meadow. Dense thorny bushes and fallen tree trunks obscured the view just a few steps ahead amidst the dusty thicket. This is where many lions often move to find shade and track prey during the harsh, dry season. But amidst the dry leaves and decaying tree trunks lying close to the ground, another predator remained motionless in silence. Noruar, not just a high-speed chase. Only the cold, patient waiting of an ambush hunter, anticipating the exact moment the prey gets close enough in the African savanna, can achieve this. Lions are among the most powerful predators in the vast African savanna. An adult lion can weigh around 500 pounds, depending on its sex and age. Their incredibly strong jaws, sharp claws, and muscular bodies enable them to take down many large prey animals in the African grasslands. Zebra, wildebeest, and also young wild buffalo. many animals immediately steer clear when lions appear in the scorching savanna. Their roar and power almost made many other predators wary on the vast grasslands. But in this harsh land, strength on the ground doesn't always give lions an absolute advantage. Because, in the thick bushes near the dry stream, sometimes the most remarkable person is the one who makes almost no sound at all. The African rock python is one of the largest and strongest snakes on the African continent. An adult can grow to over 20 feet long and weigh more than 200 pounds in the hot, dry scrublands of the savanna. It does not possess venom like many other predatory snakes. But what makes many animals wary? It is the extremely strong grip exerted by its muscular body. Hundreds of backward curving teeth help the python grip its prey tightly with the very first bite. Afterward, the massive rings of muscle began to slowly lock around the opponent's body. Each time the prey exhales, the grip tightened even more intensely amidst the tense struggle. And now, the giant rock python still lies motionless under a layer of dry leaves near a lion's trail in the African bush. A young lion slowly makes its way through the thicket near the edge of a dry stream bed in the hot, dry African savanna. Its nose constantly sniffed, tracking a small prey animal that had just passed through the area full of dry leaves and fallen tree trunks. Everything around us was almost completely silent amidst the hot, bushy savanna. The only sound was the soft crunch of dry leaves under the heavy footsteps of the lion as it ventured deeper into the dark, dense forest. It continued to take a few more steps amidst the dust and decaying leaves that covered the ground. Then, unexpectedly, the layer of dry leaves beneath the fallen tree trunk began to stir violently amidst the quiet bushes. A gigantic head suddenly shot out like a trap, springing violently from the ground in the middle of the African savanna. Press like quickly. I have a feeling the lion is about to walk into real danger. The giant python suddenly lunged out and quickly coiled itself around the lion's body in the African bush. The lion continuously spun around amidst the swirling dry leaves and hot dust that enveloped their two bodies. The wraps continued to tighten with each movement during the intense struggle. The pride of lions repeatedly lunged forward, trying to pull their fellow lion away from the giant python's body. But their large size and slippery bodies made the rescue extremely difficult. Will the power of the pack be enough to change the outcome of this confrontation? After the ambush by the giant python, the savanna resumed its hunting season. And this time, the lion's opponent is a monster weighing tons. The scorching sun gradually blankets the vast grasslands of Africa amidst a prolonged and harsh dry season. Water resources in the savanna are dwindling as many rivers and pools begin to dry up under the scorching heat. Large herds of animals are forced to constantly congregate around the last remaining mud and water sources in order to survive. The savanna was now more chaotic than ever amidst the sound of hooves, hot dust, and miles of travel. And it was at that very moment, the most intense hunts on the African grasslands began to appear more frequently. Amidst the scorching golden dust of the savanna, a herd of Cape buffalo is slowly making its way across the parched grasslands under the intense sun. The Cape buffalo is one of the strongest and most resilient animals in the African savanna. An adult can weigh around 2,000 pounds, possessing a muscular body and remarkable strength amidst the vast grasslands. The thick, curved horns act as an extremely strong natural armor layer on the head. The powerful charge from the buffalo's massive body is enough to make many predators retreat in the scorching savanna. Unlike many other herbivorous species on the African grasslands, Cape buffalo often fight back fiercely when cornered or when the herd is under pressure. Especially when the whole herd gathers together in the chaotic savanna, their power became even more formidable. For much of the time, Cape buffalo spend hours grazing and moving between water sources in the African savanna. But despite having a huge body, they are constantly being watched by many large predators on the grasslands. Lions are the most frequent predators of the Cape buffalo, especially when lion prides hunt in groups targeting old, young, or isolated individuals. Hyenas sometimes follow large herds of buffalo, looking for opportunities to approach weaker individuals amidst the chaotic savanna. Even Nile crocodiles can ambush buffalo when they come into the water near the river's edge during the dry season. And in the African savanna, every time the buffalo herd appears near the water source, intense confrontations often begin shortly thereafter. Far below the low grasses of the African savanna, golden hues began to slowly emerge from the hot, dusty air of the dry season. A pride of lionesses is lowering its body close to the ground as it silently follows a herd of Cape buffalo. They had been tracking their prey for hours under the scorching heat of the vast savanna. Hunger during the dry season forces the lion pride to continue taking risks with larger and more difficult hunts. Today's goal, it was an adult buffalo beginning to slow down and fall behind the herd in the hot, dusty grassland. But unlike the zebra or gazelle hunts in the savannah, a confrontation with the Cape buffalo is always an extremely tense challenge for the entire lion pride. Because just one counterattack from the buffalo's enormous body, everything in the savannah can change in just a few short seconds. The Cape buffalo herd began to approach a hot, dusty lowland in the middle of the African savannah. As the entire herd moved through the narrow space between the dry, yellow, scorched grass, the formation began to split slightly amidst the resounding hooves echoing across the grassland. And at that very moment, a lioness suddenly darted out from the low grass at incredible speed. Dust instantly erupted across the savannah amidst the tense ambush. The adult buffalo immediately twists its body sharply in response to the approaching predator. The roar and the pounding of hooves echoed, shaking the hot, dry ground of the African savannah. Immediately afterwards, other lions quickly rushed in from the flanks to assist in the hunt amidst the chaotic dust. The confrontation between the colossal bodies on the savannah has now officially begun. If you had liked the post sooner, perhaps this buffalo wouldn't have been surrounded by the lion family. a lioness unexpectedly leaped onto the back of a Cape buffalo amidst the hot, dust-covered African savanna. Their sharp claws quickly sank into the thick skin, while the other lions continued to lunge from the flanks. The buffalo immediately spun its body around amidst the sound of hooves and the dust swirling up across the grassland. A powerful headbutt sends a cloud of golden dust flying around the bodies grappling in the hot, dry savanna. But the lions continued to relentlessly pursue their enormous prey using their familiar coordinated tactics. Several lionesses rushed in from behind to slow the buffalo's pace through the hot, dusty ground near the water's edge. Roars and crashing sounds echoed violently as the pride of lions gradually forced their prey off balance on the parched savanna. After several minutes of tense standoff, the Cape buffalo finally began to slow down amidst the lion's encirclement. The herd of buffalo continued to disappear into the hot dust of the savanna. Meanwhile, elsewhere, a more stealthy ambush is beginning. The scorching sun blankets the vast African grasslands in the sweltering midday heat of the savanna. The air vibrates slightly from the heat between the dry, cracked lands that stretch to the horizon. The low-lying thorny bushes and dry yellow grass offered almost no shade under the intense sunlight. Far below, in the dry, cracked earth, near a large rocky mound, numerous animal trails cut across the savanna amidst the hot, dust-covered ground. This is a place where antelopes, warthogs, and many other animals frequently pass through in search of water and food during the harsh, dry season. But amidst that low, hot, dry grass, a long, heavy creature lay motionless in the tranquil savanna. Quiet down. No movement amidst the hot dust of the African grasslands. Only the patience of an ambusher, waiting for the right moment when the prey gets close enough, can achieve this. Just a few days ago, a lion nearly lost its life after mistakenly stepping into an ambush in the scorching hot bushes. The one who set that trap, they still appear here and there in the savanna. Hidden among the dry soil and low thorny bushes, its enormous, elongated body blended almost completely with the grassland. Quiet down, no roaring or threatening. Only cold eyes were waiting for something to come closer. And today, the creature that enters that hunting ground is no longer a lion. It was a lone leopard moving across the savanna in the stifling heat. Far below the low-lying dust of the African savanna, a dark shadow began to slowly emerge amidst the heat, trembling from the midday sun. Leopard. One of the most famous ambush hunters on the African savannas. Typically, an adult can weigh around 150 pounds with a muscular body and is extremely agile in the scorching, dry savanna. It moved almost silently among the low grass and hot, dry, thorny bushes. Leopards' exceptional tree-climbing abilities have repeatedly helped them avoid competition from lions and hyenas after each hunt. Most prey are usually brought down very quickly with a precise chokehold in the vast savanna. following the chaotic buffalo hunt by the lions earlier. The African grasslands were now becoming quieter under the midday heat. And the leopard is taking advantage of this less competitive period to move across the hot, dusty grasslands. But this time, what was waiting for it among the low grass wasn't an antelope or a warthog, as was usually the case. The leopard slowly approached a patch of low grass near a large rocky outcrop in the scorching African savanna. Everything around us seemed to stand still under the stifling heat of midday. Then, unexpectedly, the grass in front moved vigorously against the dry, cracked soil. A massive head shot up from the scorching ground, locking its jaws, full of curved teeth, firmly into the leopard's shoulder. Dust instantly erupted across the savanna as the two bodies slammed into each other amidst the hot, dry grass. Comment with a 2 if you think pythons are one of the most fearsome ambushers in the African savanna. The python coiled tightly around the leopard amidst the dry savanna grass. The leopard roared loudly, frantically trying to escape. Dust billowed up during the fierce struggle near the thicket. The leopard continuously rolled violently, trying to force the python against the rocks and thorns to weaken its constricting grip. Seizing the unique opportunity, the leopard jerked its body and freed one of its front legs from the grip. After several minutes of struggling in the scorching savanna, the leopard finally subdued the venomous predator and quickly retreated into the low grass. Because on the African savanna, even a small mistake can lead to the worst possible outcome for the entire confrontation. After a struggle in the bush, the leopard quickly shifted its focus to a new prey in the hot, dry savanna. The early morning casts a soft light over the vast African savanna after a long, cold, dry night. The layer of yellow dust still lay close to the ground among the low thorns and dry, cracked mounds that stretched across the meadow. Far below, the savanna was tranquil. Numerous old earthen burrows are scattered near familiar animal trails across the vast grasslands. This is where warthogs often take refuge and rest before the midday heat begins to envelop the savanna. But on the African savanna, such quiet areas are also often the places where surprise ambushes spring up amidst the low grass and hot, dry dust. Warthogs are one of the most resilient animals in the vast African savanna. An adult can weigh around 330 pounds, with a low profile but incredibly strong physique in the hot, dry grasslands. Their large, curved tusks at the front are not only used for digging but also help them react very strongly when cornered in the savanna. When under pressure, warthogs can accelerate very quickly and then charge straight towards their opponents amidst the hot dust of the African grasslands. Many predators have had to retreat because they misjudged the reaction speed of this animal at close range. For most of the time, warthogs live in small groups of females and young to improve their visibility in the vast savanna. Adults constantly sniff and observe their surroundings while foraging near thorny bushes or old burrows. When resting, they often congregate near their burrows so they can easily retreat if they detect any unusual movement in the grassland. But in the African savanna, just one step behind, between the low grass and the hot dust, all advantages can quickly disappear. Far behind the low grasses of the African savanna, a dark shadow began to move slowly through the hot dust of the early morning. Leopard. Following the tense encounter with the giant python earlier, it continues to hunt in the hot, dry savanna of Africa. With its body low to the ground, the leopard almost blends in with the yellow grass and dust surrounding its old dens. The cold, golden eyes constantly monitored every small movement near the area where the warthog was foraging. Quiet down. No unnecessary movement in the tranquil savanna. If you're also excited to see the warthog escape, don't forget to leave a like.